Hey guys, welcome back to HareBrained Whiskey. Today we are starting our first ever walk into beginner whiskeys. In fact, it's our new series we're going to be doing. It's a short series, but we're going to be talking about where you, the beginner, or if you're a beginner, or if you've got a friend who's a beginner, can get into drinking whiskey, and more importantly, whiskeys that are a good place to start, both from affordability, complexity, and helping develop taste for regions, things like that. So it helps you learn what to expect. So hopefully this is a good educational series. We're going to do a couple videos today, move on, and hopefully it gets you guys where you're trying to go. Hopefully we're helping along with your whiskey journey. So today we're talking about blended scotch. So blended scotch can mean many things, just like blended whiskey in America means many things. But traditionally, blended whiskey in Scotland is going to be something that's a minimum of 3 years old. It may or may not have grain whiskey in it, and it may be 2, 3, 4, 12, or 30 malts all blended together for a specific flavor profile. That's going to vary based on company, based on what they're going for profile-wise, based on the master distiller, and so many other things. So I'm going to go ahead and start out with one of the most affordable, easy to find, and pretty decent ones for the money. And a good example for that is going to be House of Stewart, actually. So in my area, this runs about $10 for a liter. Not a bad price. It is a blend of single malts. It's not a grain whiskey blend. It does have, I think, 4 or 5 different malts. I'm just going to go ahead and take a look here. So it's got Highland, Lowland, Islay, and Speyside. So at least 4, and all aged for a minimum of 36 months. It does say that right there on the bottle. So it's 40% ABV. It's not overly complex. It's not overly aggressive by any stretch. But it does have enough flavor and nuance that if you're the beginner, or if you just want something that's a good background, something to sip on, for the money, you cannot go wrong with this. Just trust me, it's not bad at all. So we're going to move from there. We're going to talk about another blended scotch, probably one of the most famous ones in the online whiskey communities, and with a lot of people who drink whiskey. Most everyone's heard of it or seen it on the shelf. It's generally also very affordable, and that is Monkey Shoulder. So Monkey Shoulder is a blend of 3 single malt Speyside whiskeys, all owned by William Grant Company, but it is a blend of Balvenie, Glenfiddich, and Kenichi. So those 3 mixed together, they blend them in whatever style they're going for, and that gets you Monkey Shoulder. So I found that a lot of people either really love it or really hate it, or there's a few people that are just really neutral. Me, I'm kind of neutral, and I think it's for the money. It's about a $30 whiskey in my area. For the money, it's not bad at all. You get a lot of the Speyside, so it's Speyside, so you get a lot of those sherry notes, those sherry finish notes. Oddly enough, and ironically enough, it does actually have a banana flavor to it, depending on what you've eaten and so on. But I have actually drank this and picked up that banana sort of note in it, both on the nose and in the taste. So it is a little different, but if you're looking for someone to dip their toes into whiskey, probably not a bad way to go. It tends to be a little on the sweeter side, a little more on the candied side. So it's one of those things that I think that if you have like I said, if you have a buddy or friend that's really just interested in getting into whiskey and really wants to try something that's not going to fight them, something that's not going to just be like, ugh, but something that's just going to really be like, oh, I can sip on this and enjoy this. Once again, not a bad way to go. All right, so from there, we're going to move on to something that's also another blend, of course. Also very, very affordable, and that is the Black Bottle. So this is the newer version of the Black Bottle. There is an older version that actually, I believe, may have an age statement on it. It's been a while, and that bottle's not available in my area anyway, so I couldn't tell you. But I can tell you that this is a blend of whiskeys. It does have a hint of Islay to it when I drink it. It's not overly smoky. It's not overly peated. It's not overly aggressive at all. In fact, it's only it's 43% ABV. But once again, it's like a $25, $30 whiskey in my area. It's not bad at all. Once again, a great intro into if you've got a friend who's like, oh, I really want to try Isla, or I really want to try something a little smoky, but I don't want it too smoky. This might be a good way to go to get them kind of broken into a smoked whiskey a little bit. Now, it does have a little bit of kind of sweeter notes in it too, so it's got a little bit of things for everything. The key here is that it's affordable, it's friendly, it's got a little complexity, but it's still definitely an entry level that anyone should be able to appreciate on some level if they're a whiskey drinker. I know I keep a bottle around, obviously, because it's something to just sip on. I mean, sometimes you don't want to sit there and drink your $60, $80, $100 scotches all day, or every day, or every week. So this gives you something that you can just sit back with and enjoy, and it's not going to be anything too crazy. It's just enjoyable. It's good. All right. So from there, we're going to move on to something that's is relatively common, but not everyone knows a whole lot about. Obviously, a lot of whiskey people are going to know this one, but we're talking Compass Box. Specifically right now, I've got Peat Monster over here, just as a good example. Now, Compass Box is one of those companies where they don't make their own whiskey, just like several others. There's a few out there, Johnnie Walker, that all they do is blend. All they do is source whiskey, and all they do is blend whiskey. Now, Compass Box sources from various distilleries all throughout Scotland, depending on what they're trying to do with that blend, because a lot of what they do are specialty blends or limited releases or special releases that have a specific flavor profile that they were looking for to release. So Peat Monster is actually one of their very common releases. It's one of the most well-known releases. It's a blend of Ardbeg, mostly Laphroaig. It's got a little bit of Kalila in there, I believe. It's got a little bit of everything. It's primarily all peated Scotch. It's not overly aggressive, but if you're not used to peat, not used to Scotch, it's going to slap you in the face. There's no doubt about that. That's just the way heavily peated whiskeys tend to be. But once again, a really great example of a blended Scotch whiskey that you can find most anywhere, and that's going to be pretty enjoyable. And it's going to be probably in the moderate to advanced area as far as taste. But if you're in the mood to really try an Isla and you don't necessarily want to get slapped in the face, you want something that's not overly aggressive, but definitely has all those, a lot of the characteristics that you expect from an Isla, Compass Box has a lot of good options out there. Their spice tree is amazing. It's non-peated. They've also got a few oaked varieties. Basically, I have not had anything from Compass Box that is not thoroughly enjoyable and that I don't recommend. Like everything I've ever tried from them, I would recommend to a friend all day, every day, without question. Now, they are going to be a little less affordable. A lot of the bottles for Compass Box in my area tend to be in the more $50 to $70 range, going all the way up to $150 for things like No Name or some of their limited releases. But the key is just it's a good blended whiskey. Give it a shot if you want, if you're in the mood. All right, so that brings us to the King of the Hill, the Lord of blended whiskeys, the one that everyone's heard of, the one that everyone knows, although oddly not one that everyone's had, and that is Johnnie Walker. So on this channel previously, we did a review. I did a review on Johnnie Walker's White Walker. It is excellent. Once again, blended. That is actually a blend of Cardew and Clynelish, and they're both really good. But one of the things I recommend is Johnnie Walker can be a little more pricey, but everything they do is a blend, same as Compass Box. Everything they do is a blend. Everything is sourced, and everything is designed for selling. It's designed for the most people out there to enjoy it. That's the key with blended whiskeys, or a lot of blended whiskeys, is that market share is get as many people enjoy to appreciate it or to be able to drink it as possible. So a few months ago, one of the things I did was I picked up a little thing from Johnnie Walker, and it's a little kit. It comes with 4 different bottles. I know it's slightly out of focus there, and I apologize for that. But the beautiful thing about it is it comes with Black Label, Gold Label, Platinum Label, and Blue Label. All in the same thing, so you can try them all. Now, individually, so a full bottle of Johnnie Walker Blue, most people know, is about a $200 bottle of whiskey. These two bottles tend to run in the $60 to $100 range, depending on where you're at. Johnnie Walker Black, their basic black, generally about $30 to $40, depending on where you're at. Great example of a blended whiskey. Now, to me, these are all very similar notes, all very similar characteristics. Tend to be a little briny, a little, well, they're different, but I'll tell you what, if you're an entry-level Scotch drinker, you just want your buddy to try a Scotch, or if you want to try a Scotch that isn't going to be aggressive, isn't going to fight you, isn't going to have overly complex, but is probably going to be enjoyable, give a shot to the Black Label. It's not bad. Or, like I said in my review of the White Walker, if you can get a hold of the White Walker, one of my favorite Johnnie Walkers, hands down, no questions asked. It's probably the best I've found as far as complexity and approachability. So, anyway, guys, so I hope this helps you understand blended scotches a little bit, gives you a few examples of things you can try, where you can go, what you can get, and what to expect. So our next episode will be coming out here shortly as soon as I get that filmed. We're going to, like I said, this is a whole series that we're going to be talking about of different whiskeys from different regions and different types of whiskeys and what to expect and how you can enjoy them. So oddly enough, I don't actually have a whiskey poured right now, so we're going to go ahead and do a little of Monkey Shoulder because it's right here. Yes, there's a glass right there. Alright guys, so once again, thanks for joining us. As always, if you like what we're doing, if you'd like to see more, click like, click that subscribe button, check us out. We've got a lot of things coming. We are getting things up to speed, and unfortunately you can see that my co-host is not with me. I'm still looking for someone that's a little more permanent. In the meantime, y'all are stuck with me. Sorry about that. But between now and the next video, here's to good friends, good times, and good whiskeys. Cheers, guys.